Got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way. I've been already playing that Lionel Richie since my last. But welcome everybody. I think I'm gonna do an incense and ashtrays pretty soon with black American country music in the 70s and 80s. Black country music of the 70s and the 80s. If I were to do like a black country music show from the 80s and from the 70s, I'd have songs like Young Hearts by Candy Staten. Young Hearts, run free. I'd have the Gap Band. Seasons, no reason to change. What's up, Joseph? Man, I gotta get by that studio, brother. That's the dopest one of the dopest studios I've ever been in. But yeah, I want to do a country music, black, what was labeled as pop or rhythm and blues. That was actually country. Songs like Seasons, No Reason to Change by the Gap Band, Sail On by the Commodores, Purple Rain by Prince. Those are all country western songs. Oh yeah, Save the Overtime for Me. That's another one. Yep. Yeah, I'm right on time. But we're gonna talk about tonight. We're gonna talk about this. What Kendrick Lamar is doing right now, and he's not doing it. All Kendrick is doing is making great music. But we about to do. What I want to do is I want to break down like Kendrick's success is making cats on the East Coast boil blood. I said boil blood boil. Excuse the dyslexia. No disrespect to Brooke and the cool New Yorkers out there, but I gotta talk about what we're seeing right now. Fat Joe had something to say about Kendrick winning the Grammy again on the Joe Budden podcast when I was watching the clips. They was hating like a motherfucker. They was going around talking about something. Well, not that I didn't want Kendrick to win. I just wanted the clips to win. And it's like, then we talked about the other night, Isaac Hayes the third, a person that looks like a beef and broccoli potato deuce. Eat some potatoes, beef and potatoes, and some broccoli and carrots, and drop that log the next day. Kind of gonna look like Isaac Hayes the third. And the nigga got a lisp. I keep telling you about these niggas with lisps. It's sassy niggas talking. They been coming out the woodwork. And then you said Lil Wayne. You saw Lil Wayne hating. Eric Holmes, what did Black Dot say? I like Black Dot. We Facebook friends. What did Black Dot say about it? I gotta go and check. People take Fat Joe People take Fat Joe serious because in America, in the world, people take anyone who gets a big spotlight, people automatically take them serious. And he has the Live Nation / Rock Nation spotlight. Yeah, K-Dot just trolling for relevancy. K-Dot never dissed Kendrick. He just said he's better. Saying that you're better than somebody is not dissing them. They're just saying you're better. You're supposed to think that you're better. I don't have any issues with that. Even though I have my issues with Game, like y'all know. He's never been disrespectful of Kendrick. But you saw 50 Cent throwing his shade Kendrick's way. What's up, East Coast? What's up, South? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up with this, man? Is it the good weather? No one from the West Coast ever said Jay-Z has too many Grammys. No one from the West Coast ever said Kanye is winning too much. Nobody from the West ever said Beyonce is winning too much. You've never heard somebody from the West say any other black person is winning too much. If they have, point it out. You've never heard somebody from the West say anybody from the East is winning too much. Or the South, by that matter. Chat room. We're going to start off hot now. I'm about to turn the camera off, but we're going to keep going. I'm just going to turn the camera off real quick. You don't hear us in the West saying things about anybody. But you see Kendrick out there. Kendrick is making great music, even if you don't like the music, because music taste is personal. So somebody not liking the music, I'm cool with that. That's just life, you know? That's just life. Hold on, I gotta get my jacket. Gotta get my jacket. Gotta get my jacket. It's cold. Not cold, but it's like 60 degrees now, so that's cold for us here in LA. Hold on. Let me get my jacket. All right, we back. We back. But chat room, I could be wrong. I'm not always right. Was there anybody from the West saying Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye, any of these artists? Did any artists, not just artists, any podcasters from the West? Somebody said the West Coast is the weirdest black people you ever met. See, that's the thing. See, that's something West Coast people don't even think like they do. Just the fact said West Coast blacks are the weirdest black people. Why? Because we cause riots when shit don't happen right in LA. Is that why we weird? Are we weird because cats like up in Oakland create an independent music scene without needing any of you motherfuckers or their industry? Is that why we weird? Huh? Who from the West shits on success of any black American artist from any region? I mean, this is a serious question. Have you ever heard of a black artist saying another black artist wins too much? What's up, Jesse Paris? I mean, see, this is why I don't really fuck with a lot of you hip hop niggas like that. Like, no one ever says Stevie Wonder was winning too many back in the day, you know? Michael Jackson won too many. Like, here's the thing when it comes to Kendrick. Kendrick is making personal music about his life. He's talking about life. What do y'all like East Coast, like Joe Budden people? What is it y'all don't like about it? Again, I understand not having, everyone has their own taste. But what is Kendrick doing, subject matter wise, to hope, he doesn't win an award? The music is full of substance. He brought live jazz musicians back on the scene with To Pimp a Butterfly. I mean, what is it? I want to send a special shout out to the Midwest and the Upper Northeast. We don't get hate from it. You never see people from Chicago saying shit like this. Nah, man, the West Coast got too many Grammys. You never hear Chicago niggas talking like this. You know what I mean? You never hear cats from Kansas City or St. Louis or East St. Louis or Detroit, Cincinnati. We never see, like in the West, we never see people from the Midwest talking shit. Like, that doesn't, when Kanye was dominating hip hop, that didn't make West Coast people feel a certain way. We liked Kanye until he got too goddamn crazy. You right about that too. You don't hear from DC people. DC people are cool. One thing I like about DC people, it's a lot of DC people here in LA. One thing I like about the folks from DC is y'all just come and chill. Y'all don't be on that extra shit. You'll know a New Yorker gonna be like, man, this ain't nothing like Brooklyn. Like, no, it's not. Go the fuck home if you don't like it. You never see people from DC talking like that. Real talk, Brooke, that's a good point. I got to give credit to DC. DC, all the DC people I know, at least out here in LA, they just come and chill. You won't even know they from DC unless you ask. You don't hear people from, and when it comes to the South, it's mostly Atlanta, but I got to consider the source. A lot of people in Atlanta are from New York. That's true too. Again, not talking about all New Yorkers, but a lot of people in Atlanta are from there. But chat, what did Black Dot say? Somebody earlier said Black Dot said something. I was looking in the chat, but I sat my phone down for a little bit. I must have missed it. Who said something about, who said, what did Black Dot say about Kendrick? You'll hear, like, you don't really hear New Orleans folks that much. Like, you never really hear too much California hate from Texas. California and Texas, we cousins. We cousins in California and Texas. Like, I'll never hear anything bad about LA from Texans. Like, almost never. I never hear really anything bad about LA from people from Mississippi, people from Alabama, Louisiana. Like, Louisiana niggas kind of be getting the bug in their ass because Lil Wayne, they thought Lil Wayne deserved a Super Bowl, even though he can't perform. Yeah, New Orleans show love for the most part. It does. You don't hear nothing. I already said Detroit. Yeah, Mississippi be chilling. We don't hear anything. We don't hear nothing from LA, West Coast. It's never been any beef for anybody from Mississippi, Tennessee, Memphis. Yeah, Colorado shows love too. But the most shit that we get is from Atlanta and New York. And sometimes Philly. Mark Lamont Hill's a Philly nigga. But it's New York. New York New York is New York is where 70% of the hate come from. And that's why I be on New York's ass. You hating ass niggas. But I be on y'all ass for facts. Cause I don't want the genuine New Yorkers to be mad at me like Brooke in the chat. I don't want the real New Yorkers to dislike me. So I make sure that anytime I bring up any issues with New York, it's based in observation and verifiable facts, you know? Yeah, Detroit cool. Sean Caprice in New York, how can we feel like little bro when your best rapper out of New York is Cardi B? The hottest rapper out of New York of the last decade is Cardi B. Like, Des Moines, Iowa don't feel little bro to New York with that bitch at the top of y'all charts. Like, LA, we got Doja Cat issues. We know we ain't saying we perfect. You know, we got Doja Cat out here, so I ain't saying we perfect. But damn. I'm not saying we perfect. We got cats like The Game. We got cats like Doja Cat. We got some of that bullshit Tyler the Creator be doing. I ain't saying we perfect. Hell nah. Hell nah. We are not perfect at all. Yeah, that tri-state hate. You're right about that. It is not tri-state hate, yeah. Yeah, but Doja Cat still is better than Cardi B. My man Joseph that was in here earlier, he told me that Doja Cat was part of Alice Coltrane's Oswarium, that whatever that her church or whatever. Doja Cat studied under Alice Coltrane. I didn't know that. That tells me that Doja Cat know a little bit of something. Yeah, so. But what is that? That's real talk, Sonya T. We'll never get ahead as a people. We'll never get ahead as a people with all this stupid shit. Like, coming from the West, it's like what Glasses Malone said on his podcast. I think it was on Wednesday. Being from LA, I've just always seen Black America as a whole. And the regions are just different flavors, you know? Like, it's something about getting shrimp and catfish from southern Louisiana. Shrimp and catfish, the way y'all seafood tastes in southern Louisiana, that's the only place you can get it. That shit tastes good than the motherfucker. Can't nobody in the world fuck with southern Louisiana shrimp and grits. Like, it just can't happen. You know? The way they get they barbecue in Memphis, it's just, that's the only place. Memphis barbecue is the only place you can get Memphis barbecue. There's places around the country. Same thing in Kansas City. There's places in LA and around the country that'll be like, oh, this is Kansas City barbecue. No, the fuck it ain't. You can only get Kansas City barbecue from Kansas City. And music is the same way. Music is the same way. It's all Black American, just with slightly different flavors. Every city, every region has its own flavor for the music. And it comes down to preference. You're not gonna like everything, you know? Like as much as I like you know, seafood from Southern Louisiana. I goddamn hate Zydeco music. Zydeco music pisses me the fuck off. It really does. I see somebody with a, I hate the accordion. Like, I think it should be, I think it should be legal in America, not to kill nobody, but to shoot an accordion. Every time you see an accordion, it should be legal to shoot it. I hate that fucking instrument. I hate the washboard. I fucking hate the washboard as an instrument. Some dickhead with a spoon and a washboard making that stupid sound. I hate the fucking washboard. Yeah, and I hate the bagpipes too. Stupid ass instrument. That's a stupid instrument. Yeah, the triangle bothers me. Bobby Humphrey got a song. I forgot what it's called, but I know what it sounds like. It's dude playing the shit out of that triangle. It's a Bobby Humphrey song. And I'm like, I want to take that triangle and bend that bitch straight so I could stick it up his ass, you know? Yeah. Miss Pamela, I hate the kazoo too. That's a stupid ass instrument. I hate the kazoo. So I don't, you know, but it's still Black American music. I love Bobby Humphrey's music too, but it's one song she has. The dude is some asshole is playing the fuck out of that triangle. It's one song, and I can hear it in my mind, but I can't think of the name of it. And I love Bobby Humphrey, but that one song with the triangle, I hate that fucking song. What's up, Brandy? I hate people that whistle good. If you whistle too good, that means you a lonely ass nigga. You have too much time in your hand. People that like know how to whistle on key and change octaves when they whistle. I fucking hate whistlers. Why do you whistle so good? You didn't have no friends, nigga? You didn't play no team sports? Niggas that whistle good didn't play no team sport. And I don't trust niggas that didn't play team sports. Get your whistling Dixie ass down, nigga. You ain't working, so why the fuck is you whistling? I hate whistling ass niggas. I could whistle a little bit, but I'm not gonna learn how to whistle good. Okay, that's something to do. Niggas be bird calling this shit. Fuck out of here. But it's all expression, and we have the right to dislike. I said that to say, people have 100% right to dislike an artist's sound. Like I've heard people say that they, like the New Yorker that made the most sense to me when it came to disliking Kendrick was Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar, my bad, Milana. But Lord Jamar just said, I don't like Kendrick's voice. To me, that's a good reason to not like somebody. If you don't like somebody's voice, the voice is, if it's somebody singing or singing to you, the voice is the thing that you hear first. So I could respect that opinion. I could respect it. And I think he was being honest when he said it. But Kendrick got like 48 goddamn voices he rap with. But I respect that opinion because it's like, okay, you don't like his voice. That's a major reason why I didn't like Ja Rule. I hate Ja Rule's voice. That's a major reason. Well, and also the lyrical content of Ja Rule's music. But if he did say something deep and introspective, I still wouldn't like it because of Ja Rule's voice. Got to do with it, got to do with it. Whatever, baby. Fuck out of here, nigga. So I get it. That's respectable. But think about it. Think about the level of hate that Kendrick gets. Let's break it down. I don't want Kendrick to win a Grammy. I liked Chains and Whips. I like that album. That's that song. That was a single with Kendrick on it. But Chains and Whip, the Kendrick's part was like really the only thing that was saying something. I like the Clips album. I haven't played the Clips album in a while, but the first month the Clips album was out, I played it at least once a day that first month. But let's break down, and I'm not here to hate on the Clips, but I'm talking about like Mark Lamont Hill is supposed to be the intellectual guy over there at the Joe Budden podcast. He said he wanted the Clips to win. What the fuck did the Clips talk about in their album? It's just a question. It was a good album. I listened to it. Like I told you, that first month I listened to it every day. I love said bullshit. But I mean, that's a serious question. What was the Clips album message? What was the theme? That's real talk the last time. GNX was supposed to be a regional album. GNX was very regional. Very, very regional. And I think that's another thing that got a lot of these people got a bug in their ass about the West Coast. We always get told by people like academics and that's just the West Coast. The West Coast is regional. Then GNX drops a regional album, goes around the world. That's a good point, Metadated. Beauty. Mark Lamont Show gives no real musical perspective. That's a real point. Kenny Red said Christian Coke rap. Therapy Radio said you're not into a weird sound of auto-tune. Kendrick doesn't use auto-tune, brother. I'm not into Therapy Radio. I'm not into auto-tune either, but Kendrick doesn't use auto-tune. To Pimp a Butterfly was produced by jazz musicians. But GNX had a theme of giving up respect to Anita Baker. That's why it was GNX. It was a love letter to a lot of our classic artists like Luther Vandross and Anita Baker. There's a lot of Anita Baker references in GNX. Real talk, Des. Kendrick running the mainstream and the Russells running the underground. And all you guys niggas from the East Coast, oh, like, man, I'm hating. Like, nigga, the West Coast is winning on both angles, underground and mainstream. Is that why you mad? Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly was a musical masterpiece. It really was. I was with a lot of those guys this past Sunday at Robert Glasper's Grammy party. I got to talk to Bilal. Man, me and Bilal talked for, it's like the second time me and Bilal talked for like 20, 30 minutes about music. Just the intricacies of music and what it does. And I fucks with, I've been a Bilal fan since 2000. Since Firstborn Second, but the two times we've had chances to be around, I've had a chance to be around Bilal. We've had some very, very, very good music conversations. I got to talk to Isaiah Sharkey about D'Angelo, man. And he was talking about all the music D'Angelo has been recording. That D'Angelo never stopped recording music. Isaiah Sharkey was he was D'Angelo's guitarist, and he was the music director for the Grammy award show. We talked for a minute. He just like, D'Angelo never stopped recording, but D'Angelo, the industry, he just couldn't fuck with the industry. Yeah, that's the thing. New York has always talked down on West Coast styles. That's the thing about New York. Like, it's like they wanted to gatekeep hip hop so hard, but they took so much, and like they had almost no producer outside of Larry Smith, and they don't even give Larry Smith any credit. No in-house production. All that shit was samples. Nothing original. All your favorite MCs was rapping over a sample. Yeah, they did. They invented hip hop, Harold. Yeah. But think about this. Think about this. This is how insecure New Yorkers are. Multiple regions contributed and created a sound, and don't shit on other regions for not sounding like their sound. Let me give an example. The people from the Delta don't shit on St. Louis blues. St. Louis blues don't shit on Chicago blues. Chicago blues don't shit on Detroit blues. All completely different blues styles, just like it is in hip hop. All black music is regional. Going back to my first example about the catfish in southern Louisiana, it's all regional. People from New Orleans don't hate on jazz from out of New York. Jazz out of Kansas City, out of LA. You don't hear that. As a matter of fact, this past Sunday at the Blue Note, I got to talk to Christian Scott out of New Orleans, trumpet player. You don't hear that. All black music is regional. Jesse Paris. Hip hop ain't the first. Hip hop, keep telling y'all, hip hop is not unique in any way, shape, or form. There's nothing unique about hip hop. Jazz is very much so regional. Even though New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz, I don't like New Orleans jazz. Swing and bebop is Kansas City. Chicago, what we know is jazz. Jazz really got popularized in Chicago. King Oliver. Baby Dies on drums, Louis Armstrong on trumpet. New York took ragtime, Harlem, and turned it into stride. Stride is the bridge between ragtime and what we know as jazz. Yeah, swing came from Kansas City, and so did bebop. And they got popularized in Kansas City because Kansas City had the biggest radio signal. Them and Chicago had the two largest radio signals in the country. So the Kansas City radio signal went all throughout the Midwest. So everybody got to hear Lester Young and Count Basie and Charlie Parker. They took swing to New York. Excuse me. The swing got taken to New York from Kansas City. Jazz reached New York by way of Kansas City and Chicago. Yeah. Jazz reached New York by way of Kansas City and Chicago. Yeah, LA music and New York music, Oakland music is completely different. Hell, the Bay Area don't sound like itself. Too Short and E40 are on completely opposite ends of the spectrum. The Bay is so flavorful, man. It's so flavorful. The Bay got so much flavor. MC Hammer don't sound like Mac Dre. But it was the same way with before hip hop. The Bay gives us Tony. They give us Confunction. They give us Tower of Power. It was some non-black, it's some really good non-black soul out of the Bay. Santana's out of the Bay. So is Tower of Power. Yeah, Digital Underground. Digital Underground and Tony broke through at the same time and sounded completely different. And we don't get to hear about the unique, think about, and music fans from all parts of the country. Think about it. When it comes to the story of hip hop, the only people that have been allowed to tell the story are New Yorkers. So you know what that's done? They've never shared the spotlight with the Bay. So the Bay gets overlooked. They didn't share their spotlight with LA, but LA, we got our own media, and we loud and boastful. Like, we loud here in LA. We have our own media, so we get to tell our own story. But we include the Bay. You're not gonna hear Ice Cube talk without mentioning Too Short. The Bay is so unique, but we don't get to hear their story. Their hip hop story gets flooded out when the fact of the matter is, hip hop would not have survived without the Bay. Oh, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. New York, you owe the Bay. I was talking to somebody from New York earlier today. If the West Coast don't pick up hip hop stays a regional sound, and it's probably dead by 1987. There are far more genius black music styles that have died a lot sooner. Okay, like Stride piano is out of Harlem, but Stride didn't get picked up around the country, so Stride died. one of the most genius forms of music we've ever created. But because Stride didn't get picked up nationwide, Stride kind of went away. But here's why the Bay makes. This is the reason why the Bay is in New York owes the Bay. Because, and I heard this from Too Short. I had one conversation with Too Short, and this is the conversation that we had. I talked to Too Short one time for like 30 minutes. And we were talking about, I was trying to track down the beginning of Bay Area rap. And Too Short said that he started rapping in 1980. And he had this conversation with LL Cool J. Short and LL Cool J started rapping the same year, 1980. Now, of course, LL Cool J is a god. And another reason why I have an issue with hating ass New York is y'all won't put LL Cool J in his god status. You'll let little jerk-offs like 50 Cent say weird shit about him. And y'all let Jay-Z shit on him because that's Hove. Y'all got more reverence for Jay-Z than you got reverence for LL Cool J. That's a problem, New York. LL Cool J is a cornerstone, and y'all won't give him that credit. Why do an LA nigga gotta be the one to say, make LL Cool J a cornerstone to where he's out of the conversation? There's no way in hell LL Cool J should be in anybody's GOAT conversation. He's reserved over here. Let's tuck LL Cool J off to the side, and you niggas can argue about the rest of these rappers. But Too Short is also that, because Too Short made millions in the 80s with rap. In the 80s. He really made hip-hop popular over here on the West Coast and in Texas. Too Short, when he left Oakland, he went down to Atlanta and he discovered Little John. And when Too Short went to Atlanta, he went at a very crucial time. Outkast is just taking off. But remember when Outkast first took off? Niggas from New York were hating like a motherfucker on Outkast. We love Outkast out here in LA. Man, Southern Play Illicit, Cadillac Funky Music hit from day one. You couldn't tell it. Man, Outkast had every LA nigga want to go to Atlanta. I swear to God. Like, nigga, I'm going to Atlanta. Fuck that. Freak Nick out there too. Freak Nick happened, and then Southern Play Illicit came out. Every LA nigga. I was 12 saying I'm going to Atlanta. I remember one time, I think back in 05, me and my boys were trying to figure out where we were going to go. And the choices are Atlanta and New York. Outkast made me say Atlanta. I swear to God. And I like Tribe Called Quest just as much as I like Outkast. So I don't want to hear none of that shit. Yeah, Funky Ride's the shit. What I'm saying is, us as Black Americans, We gotta stop the regional beefing. Everybody contributed. You don't hear LA niggas hating on. You talk to a New Yorker right now, they'll think that they came up with fucking disco. Disco is created in LA and Philadelphia. Nobody was going around saying New York, man, that New York disco, man, fuck. Man, I don't want to listen to no Chic. That's New York disco. Disco come out of LA and Philly. What we look like listening to some goddamn Chic and New York disco. That ain't real disco. You know how fucking stupid that sound? Motown was the first black label to go pop and stay pop consistently. See, before that, Little Richard and those guys, they would release an album, and then it would be a white act that would cover it immediately. And so the white act would be the one that would go. The white version would be what went popular, and the black version was always just had the soul, so it outlasted. But in the 40s and 50s, we would do an album, then a white person would do it 2 weeks later, and theirs would be the pop version. And when acts like Chuck Berry would show up, because Chuck Berry had perfect enunciation. If you listen to Chuck Berry, he sounded white because his enunciation was so clear. He sang more clear than any white singer. So when he showed up, they see Chuck Berry was black and he couldn't perform. So the black acts never went pop. The white acts that covered them did. Motown was the first black label to be pop consistently. Now Ray Charles would go pop. Ray Charles was just like Steve Wonder. Ray Charles just a fucking powerhouse. Ray Charles is just a powerhouse. But Motown was the first to do it across the board, pop. Pop, rhythm and blues is owned by Detroit and Motown. Chicago, rhythm and blues started in Los Angeles, the recording actually. The first rhythm and blues record labels were here in LA in 1946. The label escapes my name. It started with a T, the label name, 1946. So it started here, but R&B took off in Chicago. Brunswick Records, Mercury Records. Chicago, when it comes to blues and rhythm and blues, Chicago turned those two sounds into international markets. That's Chicago. Chicago popularized the blues. Chicago set how to record rhythm and blues and gospel and jingles. Chicago was a powerhouse in recording from the 1940s through the through the 60s. Chicago was a center of recorded music. It came to LA, it came back to LA in the late 60s is when the recording industry came back to LA. At least it was never really in LA. That's when most of our left Chicago, New York, came to LA in the 60s. Then they moved the black R&B to Atlanta in the 90s. But every region has a very, very, very important role. And no other region gatekeeps what it gave to the Black American whole. If I'm wrong, chat room, tell me. Where have I been wrong so far? Everybody's given a major contribution to Black American music and arts and entertainment. No region gatekeeps it from other regions. Other than New York. And you know the worst part about this conversation? Y'all feel me, the open-minded will feel me, but 96 out of 100 New Yorkers will hear me. Not the ones that listen to me regularly, not y'all. But the people who may casually listen to this, 96 out of 100 are going to say, why you hating on New York? They'll miss everything that I just said. And they'll just reduce it to, you just hating on New York. Or, you don't like New York. Okay. Let's just say, okay, I don't like New York, fine. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. Second, what does that have to do with anything that I said so far tonight? That's real talk, dripping and gaming. Every region contributes something. And no other region gatekeeps. Memphis is really what showed. Memphis got black music in line. Like Memphis is a key point in black music. And Memphis gets overlooked. Memphis and Philadelphia are two of the most overlooked cities in music. Memphis, the early recordings. Nashville for the country, but Nashville gets overlooked too, sometimes. But Memphis, those early blues recordings. Memphis was the first stop out of the deep South that a lot of your great musicians met for the first time. That's where Bobby Rush met B.B. King. That's where B.B. King met Albert King. Albert King was a king of the radio in Memphis, and Albert King gave B.B. King a job as a radio host in Memphis. So much happened in Memphis. So much. St. Louis. You know? And it's these unique flavors. You listen to New Orleans funk. Like New Orleans funk is the Meters. And I like the Meters. Songs like Sissy Strut. But my favorite funk comes out of LA. Watts 103rd Street Band. Drummers like James Gaston and Ndugu Chancellor. The Bay with Sly and the Family Stone. Ohio. Dayton. Zap. Slave. Cincinnati. Bootsy Collins. You know, and each sound, and then you got the funk out of Plainfield, New Jersey. Rest in peace, Billy Bass. Yeah, out of LA, War. That's LA funk. Like Rolls Royce. I like most a lot of LA sounds. I like cool jazz. Miles Davis' Birth of the Cools. One of my favorite Miles Davis albums was when Miles Davis came to LA and did Birth of the Cool. Patrice Rushen, George Duke, out of the Bay, the Whispers. But I love Detroit, the Dramatics, Enchantment. I ain't even talking about the Dramatics and Enchantment. They're not even with Motown, but I love that Detroit shit, man. I love that. I love that, man. I love that, like, DC shit. And I don't really like go-go. I'm not a fan of go-go. I don't like go-go. Too many fucking cowbells. Too goddamn loud. I respect go-go. I got a lot of respect for go-go. But that ain't I like some Chuck Brown. I don't dislike go-go as much as I hate Zydeco. I don't dislike go-go as much as I hate people whistling. But I don't like go-go. But I do like the Blackbirds. But you know what made the Blackbirds so good? I hate all those Chuck Brown remakes of jazz standards. I hate them all. But I like some other shit Chuck Brown did. But nah, bro, I'm honest about what I hate. But what was I saying? But what made Donald Byrd? See, it's always a mixture. It's never really one region. The face is a region, but it's usually the production and stuff behind that is different regions. Donald Byrd is from Detroit. He put the Blackbirds together in D.C. They were his students at Howard. But who were the producers on the biggest hits of the Blackbirds? The Mizell brothers out of L.A. Do you know that Patrice Rushen played the keyboard on some Blackbirds albums when she was a teenager? Mizell brothers out of L.A. It was that L.A. production that when Donald Byrd went with that jazz funk fusion, you gotta give Donald Byrd the credit for creating that lane. But he created that lane when he came to LA for production. It's when he came to LA for production. Wind Parade, that's the Mizell brothers. Places and Spaces, Mizell brothers. Dreaming of You by the Blackbirds, Mizell brothers. Rock Creek Park, a song about a park in DC. That's Roy Ayers, LA. Mizell brothers, LA. Fused with DC flavor. Hold tight. You remember Accelerated Radio? Oh, yeah. Accelerated Radio, I had like 6 people listening. Salute to you. He said NWA. Larry ain't doing shit. But yeah. This is why regional beefing is stupid, because it's a mixture. It's when the best Black American music is when we stir the pot. That's the best Black American music, is when the pot gets stirred and we blend our regions together, because we all speak the same language. We also, what I'm trying to get you regional niggas to understand is, oh, there go the skunk. The skunk is down there. Where that motherfucker going? Oh, he coming this way. You better not come too close, motherfucker. Hey, the skunk is right over there. I'm keeping my eyes on that nigga. Mm-hmm. That nigga went up under my neighbor's truck. Oh, he down in my other building now. Hell no, I ain't calling Rocky. Do y'all know Rocky tried to chase the skunk one time? I was like, Rocky, that skunk could kick your ass. And nah, nah. Okay, he just ran back the other way. That motherfucker, Rocky tried to chase the skunk one time. Like, Rocky, you little motherfucker. I had to yank the nigga leash so hard. It's like 3 or 4 months ago. Oh, Kevin Nash, your pop? Man, you understand, hold tight. Your dad, Kevin Nash, is a Los Angeles broadcast legend. I got infinite love for Kevin Nash. How he holds it down at KGLH. People need to recognize Kevin Nash's greatness. They really do. I wish people around the country understood how great of a radio personality and DJ Kevin Nash is, and what he's doing with media in LA. Kevin Nash, and he's a good. I went to go see your dad in Inglewood a couple years ago. Do a show. Good artist too. Yeah, Kevin Nash is an LA legend on the radio. I hear damn near 30 years he's been on the radio. Yeah, anybody from LA know. Anybody from LA know. Kevin Nash, they done kicked all the goddamn black DJs off. It ain't no DJ in LA better than Kevin Nash. That's the hands down the best DJ / overall radio personality in LA, period. But you said I've not heard enough to say I don't like it. What are you talking about? I haven't heard enough what to say I don't like it. If I'm telling you I don't like something, I've heard enough of it to know I don't like it. Just understand that. I'm the kind of person, I don't have to wait until 2 p.m. to realize it's daytime, right? You know how many times I've been to DC and been in go-go clubs? I'm a fucking drummer. You know how many times I play go-go music for bands just for the money? I know go-go better than you. I've had to actually play go-go on stage in front of 200 people. I know go-go, and I don't like it. We're not gonna like everything. It's a lot of people that don't like West Coast music. That's fine by me. I don't give a shit. I like it. But back to what we're talking about. The best black music is when we mix up the regions. That's the best music. What made hip hop take off in New York were the samples. You had offshoot songs that went here and there, rappers alike. Of course, that was a sample, first sample ever. But then you had like the message. The message was such an amazing message. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes you wonder how I keep from going under. That's just how black people felt. It just hit. But hip hop, rap at that time was just like one-offs. One-off song here, one-off song there. It didn't penetrate. When them samples hit though, and the Bomb Squad got a hold of that George Clinton catalog, that's when the shit started hitting. the thing that's always made hip hop hit off was the samples. So and what is the thing that attracts people to a song? The melody. That's the same. That's true with jazz. That's true with polka. That's true with country. The rhythm and the melody is what attracts everybody to a song. Without the melody, rap is just aggressive poetry. Can anybody out here quote a Tupac poem? He wrote a bunch of them. Can anybody, you know every word to Hail Mary. You know every word to Take Money. Do you know every word to Tupac's poetry? The Rose That Grew from a Concrete, people know the title. Nobody knows the poem. Everybody knows I Get Around. That's right, Date, QG. Not a single line. Nobody knows a fucking line of a Tupac poem. I'm not even gonna listen to J. Cole's album. It's too late. I ain't trying to go to sleep yet. When I'm done talking to y'all, I'm rolling up the blunt, listening to Earth, and Fire. No, Jesse Perez, I didn't ask, did you read the poem? I said, can you quote a poem? I didn't say read them. We know I ain't mad at you. We don't know the poem. This nigga said we know Poetic Justice the movie. He said I know Poetic Justice the poem. Like, nobody gives a fuck about poetry. And I here in LA, I've been to Fly Poet more than times than I can count. LA's is very active on the poetry scene. I appreciate poets. But don't nobody know a Tupac poem or a Jill Scott poem. One of my favorite groups out right now is Tank and the Bangers. And Tank, she's a great poet. She has great poetry. She did an album. They did an album with James Posey as the producer. It's the music that makes me love Tank and the Bangers. As dope as her poems are, I would not have heard one poem without the music. Yeah, So Many Tears is a poem, but what makes us listen to that song, So Many Tears? Stevie Wonder. Doo, 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 doo. It's been so many years. It's been so many tears. It's that Stevie Wonder sample from That Girl. The way they did that. There's the drums from That Girl just slowed down. Doom, boom, boom. That hi-hat lifted right before the snare. Go listen to That Girl by Stevie Wonder. The harmonica solo. That's why we like So Many Tears. Because of the Stevie, again, going to what I said, the melody. Thanks for proving my point. It's the melody that makes us like the music. So what made us listen to hip hop was the melody of the samples. The samples. The samples. It's the samples. And mixed in with some original production. Salute to Q-Tip. Salute to the Dungeon family. Rico Wade. Not saying everybody sampled, but Pharrell, a bunch of Michael Jackson stuff flipped. Mike Pharrell just, the Neptunes, that was all just flipped Michael Jackson. I'm not saying that to cut away a hip hop, but I am saying that to these regional motherfuckers. Yeah, you as a rapper may be from a city, but your song is from all across America. Some of these songs be splicing up 4 different samples. Especially a Jay-Z song produced by Kanye. God. It's gonna be stolen lines, stolen lyrics, and stolen beats. Yeah, Far Side. That's why I say the best music is when we all, when Black America cross-pollinates flavor. When James Brown bought King Records, he brought those Southern musicians to Cincinnati. Again, cross-pollination. It was recorded in Cincinnati with a Mississippi bass player, James Brown from South Carolina, Bobby Bird from Georgia. They've been from all across the South, recording in Cincinnati. Lakeside as a band took off when they came to LA and recorded at Solar Records. That's what I do musically. Play the drums. I don't play no more like I used to though. I used to play the drums. I listen to niggas like Justin Tyson. I don't play the drums no more. I was listening to Justin Tyson on drums last week. Shit. I ain't calling myself a drummer no more. But I did play in church for 20 years. And that's the highest level of music. Church. That's the base level. That's the level that's the fundamental level. It's both. It's the highest level and it's the most fundamental level. It's the root level of music. It's the roots. The roots, as the old niggas say. So, but it's when we cross-pollinate, that's the best music. That's why niggas need to get out that region shit. And this Kendrick thing is just really bringing it out. You got black men saying they don't want to see another black man win because he won too much. Is that not the most slave-ass shit you done ever heard? Have any of these niggas said Taylor Swift wins too much? Has anybody ever said that? Going back to how I started, you never saw a West Coast person say Kanye won too much, Jay-Z won too much, Beyonce won too much. Nigga, they black. We don't win enough. We need more categories. Yeah, we had Brown running our podcast on Crayfax, yeah, Farside Radio. Farside, I went to go see the Farside at the Ford Theater back in July. We had some backstage tickets. That shit was fun. One thing about Ice Cube going to New York right after NWA, I think that was dope. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the whole message of tonight's show. Black music is at its best when it cross-pollinates. That's what made Chicago so great. Chicago, Kansas City, not so much Kansas City, but Chicago, Detroit, they house the best of the Delta, the best of New Orleans, the best of Birmingham, the best of Biloxi, the best of Mississippi and Tennessee. They all melted together in Chicago. That's why Chicago hit off so hard. That's why Chicago Blues Chess Records hit so hard. Chicago had a whole thing called Record Row, a whole goddamn row of record labels, because there was so much music out there from so many different regions that came together as one. We shouldn't gatekeep each other. We need to gatekeep our overall culture. We should not be gatekeeping in regions. We should not be gatekeeping regions. That's stupid. Regional gatekeeping is stupid as fuck. It's destructive, and it makes it easier for other groups to take our stuff. If we over here so busy on gatekeeping which region did what, that opens the door for other regions to come in and say they took it all. While we fighting over New York and New Jersey, you got these people coming in saying hip hop is Puerto Rican. And you'll get a black New Yorker to agree with it because they on some New York over everybody shit. And then when you get a positive artist like Kendrick Lamar, somebody who, out of all the stuff that we say about what's wrong with music, he exemplifies the best of it. You say he's too successful? I mean, Kendrick Lamar has no music making black women look like tramps, nothing. Let's take stock of Kendrick. He doesn't make us look like shit as a people. He talks about being in the streets but not wanting to be there. Doesn't glorify the streets. Tells stories about it though, from the perspective of somebody who didn't want to be there. He makes love music still with hip hop. You know, he actually makes love, like Poetic Justice, Um, the shit he did with Rihanna, he always puts that in his music. He's introspective. And on one of the greatest diss songs of all time, Not Like Us, he took time to give a history lesson on Atlanta being the city where the railroads were built. And he took that historical lesson and tied it into Drake coming down to Atlanta and mining the talent and mining something that black people built. That's the biggest thing that people miss from Not Like Us. That's just like No Vaseline when Ice Cube said, "You let a Jew break up our crew." That had a historical grounding. Kendrick's diss was rooted in historical grounding. I can understand, again, we all have preferences. If you don't like it, that's fine. But to say something that offers that much substance lyrically doesn't deserve to be rewarded, that's stupid. Like, but these are the people, Fat Joe, Joe Budden. This is the class, this is that third, fourth generation hip hop class that really came in and shitted on the back of the toilet in the bathroom and didn't clean it up, you know? You were going, walking to a stall and somebody took a squat and didn't sit all the way down there. That's kind of what the Joe Budden, Fat Joe class did to hip hop. The Nori class, the Nelly class. Not saying anything about Nelly. He was just fun gimmick music, but the Jim Jones class, they kind of just came in and pissed on the back of the toilet seat and didn't clean it up. They're the ones that brought in this, you really ain't got to say nothing music. Sharon, am I lying? Now, everybody wasn't preachy at the same time. You didn't have to be preachy, but you couldn't just say absolutely nothing either. And if you're not gonna, what's up, Star? If you're not gonna give a message, at least just give us a really dope party song that is not degenerate. At least give us a good party song. At least give us a good love song. But give us a song about the struggle to pay your bills. Like, it's that, I'm telling you right now, that shiny suit era killed hip hop more than gangster rap. The shiny suit era, we still haven't recovered. We still haven't recovered from the shiny suit era. I'm better than you because I can spend more money than you. That's real talk. You had to at least be able to tell a story. Slick Rick, that's some rap right there. Tell a story, at least. Tell a story. You don't have to preach, but give us a good story. Cube was great at giving us 3 and 4 minute long stories. Who's the Mac? Is that brother in a big hat? Trying to get every bitch he can get with a good rap. How to Survive in South Central. Yep. T-Mac, I appreciate that. From Medellin, Colombia. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Like, yeah, at least give us a story. But the thing that brought us to rap is the melody. It's the melody. I don't say it's a connection between how short music is and attention span. I wouldn't say that. Because people had great attention spans in the 60s, but the records they only had these little small records, so songs were all back then 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Songs were actually shorter in the 60s. You didn't really start getting long songs until 69 with Isaac Hayes. Yeah, Scarface was another great storyteller. Yep. I went to Verb. I just drove past Verb earlier today. Going to go pick up rent. I drove past Verb 2 hours ago. Going to pick up my money. Yeah, salute to Verb. But am I making sense, y'all, about how this region shit will bring down the whole thing, and it already has in a lot of ways. If you look at this whole hip hop colonization story, it's starting where? New York. So focused on making it a New York thing, the whole culture is going to lose something of that. That means Too Short's going to have to lose. That nigga never heard of Cool Herc when he was doing what he did. That means Egyptian Lover's going to lose. That means Scarface is going to lose. That means, why should Master P have to share the story with some nigga no one ever heard of, who never produced a song? Kool Herc never made a song, never rapped. Why he got to share? Why Master P got to share history with him? That New York region is a problem when it comes to music. In our culture, it's a problem. And a lot of people have been knowing that, but just most people ain't bold enough to say it. I'm going to say it. It's a problem. Y'all a problem. No other region of black music creators hate on other regions that hard. The Chicago blues don't hate on the Memphis blues. All of our music is goddamn regional. All of it. Funk is regional. Going back to some early Detroit, Motown. Detroit and Motown is a blueprint on how to make R&B crossover and popular consistently. They're still using the look at K-pop. K-pop is still using the Motown blueprint that they created for the Temptations. And you don't see people in Detroit gatekeeping it. Hurt, calm down. Hurt said, fuck K-pop. That's not the point. That's not the point. Yeah, KRS-One, that nigga. He had the interview. That Dr. Green Thumb interview he did was great. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. And go watch my review of it. KRS-One didn't even know about what was going on the West Coast. Uncle Jam's Army doing 10,000 seat concerts in 1981, bringing out Curtis Blow and setting up a run for Curtis Blow from LA to the Bay. LA, Fresno, Oakland. Whole West Coast runs in hip hop in 80, 81, 82. First radio station for hip hop only was out of LA. This is a cultural thing. That's why hip hop can manifest all throughout the country in its own flavor. What's up, John? That's why people I say, okay, if hip hop is Jamaican, why is there no Jamaican hip hop in Kingston or not or anywhere? Because it's not their sound. Conversely, why is it that hip hop in Detroit sounds distinctly different from hip hop in St. Louis, which sound distinctly different than hip hop in Memphis, which sound distinctly different than hip hop in New York, which sound distinctly different than hip hop in LA. Because there's a shared bond of a black cultural experience that creates our music that manifests itself in the flavor of our region. And I dare any of you niggas out there to challenge me. I had this conversation with a college professor. I'll have it with a New Yorker, blogger, YouTuber. I had a conversation with anybody. Rapper, producer, let's talk. T-Mac, I heard you saying about cultural appropriation. I heard you saying, but you got to look at it this way. And I said it before, when you do something well, when you create something that's beautiful, it's going to inspire people. And when people are inspired, first step is imitation. But the basis for imitation is, you know, base for imitation is attraction, interest. We gotta know that people are gonna do their version of our stuff. That's why we have to get an overall cultural understanding, not a regional understanding. Maybe did a number on the hip hop generation. They did a number on y'all niggas. We need a overall cultural understanding. And we have a overall cultural understanding, then you can admit that, okay, I don't like that region's music. Like I told you before, I don't like Zydeco, and I don't like Go-Go. I don't like Baltimore accents. And I know some cool motherfuckers from Baltimore. Baltimore. But I don't like Baltimore accents. I don't like the way niggas in Seattle dress. You hoop earring wearing ass niggas. But it's still my culture. I don't hate it. But yeah, the hate is real. But it is what it is. We still winning. But the regional shit needs to stop. We need an overall cultural understanding. Recognize each region. Appreciate the differences of each region. But understand that it's all the same family. It's all the same family of music. The only music in the world that has a 2/4 backbeat. Everyone else on the quarter note, everyone else on a 1 and a 4, 1 and a 3. All right? I'm out.